choice questions, primarily focused on Unit 1 of AP Macro. As we go through these questions, you've got a couple options. One, you've got a link to the PDF of these questions. It might be a good idea to go ahead and open that link, do those questions beforehand. If not, feel free to pause the video as questions are introduced, do the questions, turn the video back on, and see what the answer is. All right, let's get started. Question number 1. Refer to the following graph of the country's production possibilities curve. If 2 coats are currently being produced, the opportunity cost of producing the 3rd coat is blank. Now, as you see, I did not put options A through F yet, and there's a reason for that. When answering multiple choice, especially in Econ, I think it's really important and helpful to answer before answering, meaning define the problem, maybe even predict what they're getting at, and see if you can determine an answer before you actually look at the answer options A through E. So looking at this question, defining the problem, what exactly we're getting at? Well, here we have an economy, coats and belts, regular old PPC, increasing opportunity costs, we can tell by the shape of the curve. And they're starting by producing 2 coats. So we're down here producing 2 coats, which means they're also producing 85 belts. And then production changes. Production moves up to 3 coats, and they want to know what's going to happen as a result of that change from 2 to 3 coats. Well, when you change from 2 coats to 3 coats, you have to give something up, that's the opportunity cost, and you go from 85 belts to 70 belts. So the resulting opportunity cost of that change, of that increase in 1 coat, is going to be the 15 belts you're no longer producing. That's the answer to the question. That's the finishing of that incomplete sentence. Now, all I have to do, because I've already done the work, is look through my answer options and find the correct response. Obviously, in this case, the correct response is going to be option D, 15 belts. Remember, answer the question before answering the question. All right, number 2. Country A can produce either 2 tons of cocoa or 4 cars with 10 units of labor. Country B can produce either 5 tons of cocoa or 25 cars with 10 units of labor. Based on this information, which of the following is true? Again, let's answer the question before we look at the options. Where are they going with this? Well, they're giving us 2 countries producing 2 goods with a fixed amount of labor. That fixed amount of labor is something we want to highlight. And you should be doing this as you're answering questions. Highlight things, circle them, mark it up. Make sure you know what you're dealing with. In this case, it's a production question. We need to know what kind of data we've been given. And with that fixed input of 10 units of labor, we're dealing with an output problem, output data. The best way I know to deal with any of these kinds of problems, because they're obviously going into comparative advantage, absolute advantage, opportunity cost, is to organize your data. So make a table and organize your data for this question. I like a simple little, basically looks like a matrix.
Nos está esperando. Dejo aquí los fregueros. Bajamos. Abre el coche.
Of these different options, and then I'm going to work my way through. And again, this is before even looking at my options. What can I conclude prior to looking at the answer options to this question? Well, first of all, I can look at the raw data, the output data, and make a quick determination about absolute advantage. Because country B is producing more cocoa, country B has absolute advantage in the production of cocoa. Because they're producing more cars, they also have absolute advantage in the production of cars. Looking at my options in just a moment, that's going to be something that I want to know. Doing some quick math here and determining opportunity costs, I can then determine who has comparative advantage in each of these 2 goods. In this case, because it has the lower opportunity cost in producing cocoa, country A has comparative advantage in the production of cocoa. For cars, it's got to be reversed because these numbers are reciprocals of one another. The numbers indicate that. With a lower opportunity cost, country B now has the comparative advantage in the production of cars. And now I've got something I can work with as I work my way through the options. In this case, we're going to work our way through, as I just said, and see if we can eliminate some options before determining the final correct answer. So, option A, country A has absolute advantage in the production of cocoa. Well, stop right there. Is that true? Does country A have absolute advantage in the production of cocoa? No, they don't. That can't be true. That can't be correct. It doesn't even matter what the second half of the question is. When I had to learn the English language, something that I didn't do was I spoke the English language with Chinese. Option B, country A has a comparative advantage in the production of cocoa. Okay, is that true? Yes, that is true. While country B has comparative advantage in the production of carbon. Also true. Let's put a little star by that one because that looks pretty good. Option C, country A has an absolute advantage in the production of cocoa. Is that true? No, that's not true. Scratch it. That can't be your correct answer. Option D, country A has comparative disadvantage in the production of both goods. Well, that can't happen. Not the way we're doing the math in these questions. That's not option. And in option E, neither country has a comparative advantage in the production of either good. Also not true. Go back to B, the one we put a star by. That is your correct answer. It is accurate based on the data that we have done. Again, work out the problem before considering the options. Question 3, which of the following would cause the production possibilities curve shown below to shift outward? Okay, again, before answer. What's a possible solution to this question? What causes a PPC to shift outward? Well, anytime we're talking about an outward shift, an increase in productive capacity, we've got to be able to connect that to some sort of an increase in productivity. New technology, capital formation, it could be quantity, quality of factors of production, something to that effect, where there's been an increase in the productive capacity of that economy. That's what causes that outward shift. Now take a look at your options and see which one of these is going to give you an increase in productivity. And looking at them, it should become pretty obvious to us. Option E is the correct answer. Developing a more efficient steelmaking process. More efficiency because of that capital formation, new technology, whatever it happens to be. That's the evidence of your increase in productivity. Question number 4. If labor costs rise in the automobile industry, which of the following will happen to car prices and the quantity of cars sold? Okay, so here we are. We're in Unit 1. And in Unit 1, we had the introduction to price determination and basic supply and demand. Put yourself back into that mindset. That's what this question is asking. It's asking about a change in equilibrium. Draw a graph.
Puesta el sábado.
Llevaba este vestido. ¿Lo puedo poner?
Sí.
Llevaba esto y
Just go ahead and draw a graph for yourself, off to the side or somewhere on the question sheet. And just work the problem out to see what the correct answer is. Don't go through the options trying to logic your way to the correct answer.
Una pregunta. Los bañadores que dijo que fue a buscar a Montoto.
no entiendo.
Los bañadores, sí. Se dijo que fue a Montoto el sábado 21 porque quería coger unos bañadores.
Answer.
Sí, es
aclare una cosa. Usted ha un montauto por los bañadores dejando aquí a su hija. Sí. Cuando vuelve de montauto descubre que la niña no está. Usted tiene la tranquilidad y el tiempo suficiente para doblar los bañadores y dejarlos ahí. Es eso. ¿Es eso lo que me quiere decir?
Es que no le estoy entendiendo. Es que no sé
Pregúnteselo a él. Es que me entiende.
Do it yourself. And I tell my students this every time. If you can draw a graph on a multiple choice question, it's like cheating, but it isn't, because the graph is going to tell you the answer. And that's good. That's why we have them. They are tools that we use to help us understand concepts. So in this case, here we have the market for cars, market for automobiles. Labor costs rise. An increase in labor costs. What is that going to do? It's going to cause your supply curve to shift left. Now, as a result of that leftward shift in supply, we can see the answer. Prices are going to rise, quantity is going to fall. All I have to do next is go through my options and see which one matches what I've done on my graph. And there it is. Option C. Price increases, quantity sold decreases. Use the graphs to your advantage. All right, I want to thank you for